I promise you on everything, this is not clickbait. This is the most powerful. I've got 2 videos. The most powerful, compelling, convincing, amazing testament to leaving the Democratic Party. That's the first video. And then the second video is going to absolutely knock your socks off. Such a volcanic condemnation to Kamala Harris. This needs to go it needs to spread like wildfire. Please tap the thumbs up and share this. Let's get right into the first video. This is Senator Elbert Guillory, and I'm telling you right now, this video is absolutely remarkable. Watch.
Recently, I made what many are referring to as a bold decision to switch my party affiliation to the Republican Party. I wanted to take a moment to explain why I chose to become a Republican, and also to explain why I don't think it was a bold decision at all. It is the right decision. Not only for me, but for all my brothers and sisters in the black community. You see, in recent history, the Democrat Party has created the illusion that their agenda and their policies are what's best for black people. Somehow it's been forgotten that the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an abolitionist movement with one simple creed, that slavery is a violation of the rights of man. Frederick Douglass called Republicans the party of freedom and progress. And the first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln, the author of the Emancipation Proclamation. It was Republicans in Congress who authored the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, giving former slaves citizenship, voting rights, and due process of law. The Democrats, on the other hand, were the party of Jim Crow. It was Democrats who defended the rights of slave owners. It was the Republican President Dwight Eisenhower who championed the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But it was the Democrats in the Senate who filibustered the bill. You see, at the heart of liberalism is the idea that only a great and powerful big government can be the benefactor of social justice for all Americans. But the left is only concerned with one thing: control. And they disguise this control as charity. Programs such as welfare, food stamps, these programs aren't designed to lift black Americans out of poverty. They were always intended as a mechanism for politicians to control the black community. The idea that blacks, or anyone for that matter, need the government to get ahead in life is despicable. And even more important, this idea is a failure. Our communities are just as poor as they have always been. Our schools continue to fail children. Our prisons are filled with young black men who should be at home, being fathers. Our self-initiative and our self-reliance have been sacrificed in exchange for allegiance to our overseers, who control us by making us dependent on them. Sometimes I wonder if the word freedom is tossed around so frequently in our society that it has become a cliche. The idea of freedom is complex and it's all-encompassing. It's the idea that the economy must remain free of government persuasion. It's the idea that the press must operate without government intrusion. And it's the idea that the emails and phone records of Americans should remain free from government search and seizure. It's the idea that parents must be the decision makers in regards to their children's education, not some government bureaucrat. But most importantly, it is the idea that the individual must be free to pursue his or her own happiness, free from government dependence and free from government control. Because to be truly free is to be reliant on no one other than the author of our destiny. These are the ideas at the core of the Republican Party, and it is why I am a Republican. So my brothers and sisters of the American community, please join with me today in abandoning the government plantation and the party of disappointment, so that we may all echo the words of one Republican leader who famously said, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
Absolutely powerful, absolutely substantive. You need to share this with everybody you know, especially, and I don't know how they can be this close to the election. If they're on the fence, if they're independent, share it to all your liberal friends, share it to everyone. It is absolutely amazing. I love the way that he articulated himself, the way that he conveyed through actual concrete examples and substance and historical references. Just absolutely brilliant. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But wait, I've got one more video that's just as, if not even more, if you can believe it, powerful than this one. Watch this and then come on back. We got to talk about it.
Dear Kamala Harris, let's get one thing crystal clear. The vast majority of American men have no issue with electing a female president. Our issue lies solely with you. You were second in charge of California for 13 years.
As California's Attorney General, Harris promoted enforcement of a law that allowed prosecutors to seek jail time for parents of truant kids.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
I thought that was crazy. I was like, how can you lock parents up?
If you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
I opened the door and I see at least 7 or 8 cops that wanted to arrest me. As a matter of fact, they did.
And frankly, you know the prosecutors in my office who volunteered to do this? My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
She had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. That person could be arrested. They could lose time from work and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community.
I lost my job and couldn't pay rent, and we got evicted.
Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed.
I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
All because of the swipe of my pen.
I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom, and I don't agree with what she's done to other parents as well.
You were second in charge of the United States for 4 years.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Inflation is hitting the highest level in 39 years. A record high number of illegal crossings.
Crime's been surging across the nation.
Huge spikes in homicides.
Could we be heading toward World War III?
After 17 years of failed leadership, you are now asking us to trust you as first in charge of our country.
I am concerned and focused on big issues. Elementary and middle school truancy is actually a big issue. If we're trying to save the state money. Because of truancy, California public schools lose $1.4 billion a year in funding. I want money.
My message to all Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
As men and protectors of women and children, you are simply a risk we are not willing to take.
The last one hit even harder than the first one, being that I am from California. I've lived here since 1987, raising my kids. My kids are born here. They're born in a hospital that's literally 30 minutes away from us right now. As if you didn't need another reason, as if you didn't have another factor that could help your decision, I beg of you, heed this. I've done so much. I've produced so many videos with actual evidence. You won't see this anywhere on the fake, woke, corrupt media. All they do is support her. All they do is back her. You have to ask yourself why. They spread more lies, more misinformation. Never mind the fact that she hasn't never had a child. She shuns the Lord. She shuns Christians, Catholics, anyone of faith from attending her rallies. She's wholly unfit. Just look at the facts. She destroyed San Francisco. San Francisco is a dystopia. California, my great state, is Attorney General. Her and Gavin Newsom have the exact same mentality. She had one job as Vice President of the United States, and we have the worst border crisis in the history. And now, the perfect emblem, the perfect personification of DEI, she expects us to give her a promotion. Can you believe that? My fellow Americans, I beg you, if you haven't already, vote like your lives, like your kids, like your grandkids' lives depend on it, because this time it actually does. This is the whole reason I'm doing this, for my kids, my grandkids, my country, God, for the future of our great republic. I don't want this country to just flourish for 100 centuries. I want it to flourish for trillions of centuries, and it should, because it's the greatest country of all time ever invented. We honor our framers. We honor the millions and millions of Americans who sacrificed for our freedoms and civil liberties by doing the right thing on November 5th. I can't wait to hear your comments. Please share this. Tap the thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. If you missed these, tap my face, subscribe, and follow if you like more content like this, because we're never going to stop. Sign up for our free newsletter. It's free in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.